All right, welcome to the Mark and Mike show. We are back with you after a week of not being here. And Mike is gonna. This is WFRS CC 88.3. You just heard that, but Mike's gonna start us off with a quick prayer here, and we'll get going.
Yes, once again, so that we do not say anything too irredeemably stupid. So let's begin in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen. All glory be to the Father and to the Son and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen.
Amen.
In the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Well, welcome back, everybody. We were gone last week. Mike and I had the big conference championship, the indoor championship. So Mike ran the 800 in the DMR, secured the podium finish for the DMR team, anchored us home. So that was pretty cool. I had the fortunate or unfortunate task of the 3K and 5K. Let me tell you that it was very difficult. My legs are still probably not recovered, but it's fine. So anyway, that's where we were last week. That's why I couldn't film the show, because it was a Thursday night meet. We were up in Youngstown State. So I retweeted some of the photos from that meet. So yeah, it was a good time.
No, yeah. Mark just dropping the hammer in the 3K and the 5K, and honestly, really impressive, because if you don't know, that's about 5 miles of running on a track indoors.
Yeah,
so
it was a lot.
Yeah, and secured a second place finish in the 3K.
Yeah,
and first place 5K. So gold medal right there.
Yeah, it was hard. I'm not gonna say it wasn't hard. I was pretty dead, but no, it was good. My family was able to come. Shout out to Oliver, who may or may not be listening. I'm not really sure. But yeah, it was a good time. So anyway, we're back now, and one thing that I was really wondering, Mike, is something happened this past weekend. It hasn't happened in the past 4 years. It's a really, really big day. How was your leap day?
Leap day. Oh, okay. I wasn't sure where you... Okay. Yeah. So, what was it, Saturday?
I believe so, yes. I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Man, I can't remember Saturday. That's a long time ago. You know what?
It was Saturday.
It was really good. And what was weird about Leap Day was that we didn't have a track meet. Normally we have a track meet.
That's true.
So when I got to Saturday, it was like I had no idea what to do.
Yeah. So not only did you feel weird because it was a leap day, you also felt weird because we didn't have a track meet.
Oh, yeah.
It's I don't know. Do you know anyone who was born on the leap day?
I do not, but
okay.
If they were my age, my age.
Right. I've always wondered about that. Like, what do you do, Yeah. I guess you would, would you go with the 28th? I feel like you'd have to, because you can't really go with, March 1st. I guess it depends on what time of day. It's like if you were born in the afternoon on the 29th, you might as well round down to March 1st.
Well, I don't know about that. I think it should still be in February, but I say you
think that too.
You kind of have to splice it a little bit. You can't celebrate all of February 28th. You can only celebrate at 11:59 February 28th.
Okay.
And you get your 1 minute, and then every 4 years you have a big party.
Yeah, you
go all out.
It's like golden birthday type deal every 4 years,
Heck yeah.
Yeah. See, my mom was born on the 27th, so she was close, but not quite. I don't think her year was a leap year, but
well,
I mean, at that point, you're close, which is very, it's crazy.
It's roll the dice, move the mice.
Yeah. So yeah, no, leap day. It's a weird day, but
Some of my friends were talking about how they were going to watch a movie called Leap Day on Leap Day, and I don't really know much about it, but it sounds like I think it's a rom-com. There's this girl, and apparently it's some sort of tradition where the girl can propose to the guy.
Only on the leap day.
Only on leap day.
Of course, yeah. This just seems like some classic Hallmark type film.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's like some random circumstance that you would never happen, yet it all comes together perfectly for the movie,
Sure.
I'm going to be honest, I really don't see you as someone who would enjoy a movie such as that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'd enjoy the cultural aspect of it.
The fact that it's a movie
tradition
about Leap Day.
It's a tradition, and it's like, wow, that sounds like something really interesting. But then you throw in the drama, and then everything just falls apart.
So this begs a question: how do you feel about the movie Groundhog Day? Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, I've seen Groundhog Day, and
quality film.
I really enjoyed that movie actually. I think it'd be really scary if I kept waking up the same day.
Right.
But at that point you don't have anything to lose.
But it has that, that's true. I think that movie has the like awkward holiday, not really holiday theme, I think that adds to the value of the movie. It was funny. My family watched it over Christmas break, and my sister was, all about trying to go to Puxatawny.
Right. Yeah.
For
to see
Groundhog
Phil.
Day. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So one day we'll probably have to do it.
See, this year I'm very grateful because the groundhog did see his shadow. I think that's the sign of the early spring, right? And so far so good. Because
that's very true, yeah.
Like the weather, like the past week or so, I'm calling it. March 1st was the first day of spring.
It was nice. It's been nice for sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna get too much colder anymore. But it's March. You never know.
Midwest, you never quite can tell. It's wild. It's probably gonna be snowing at some point in the near future.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, one thing about Groundhog Day, I don't know if you it was a few years back. I don't know if you heard about it.
Okay.
But it was like the mayor or governor of New York, or it was something like that. I think it was Bill de Blasio. He had the groundhog, like he was like the honored guest.
Right.
And they gave him the groundhog, and he dropped the groundhog.
Wow.
The groundhog fell.
Wow.
To the ground. And
well, at that point, it's like you're doomed. You're gonna have winter for the rest of the year.
Oh yeah,
honestly,
like Ice Age, right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Second Ice Age.
I mean, how could you drop the groundhog? You got to be ready for that. It's like you have one job. Come on, you just got to hold the groundhog for like 30 seconds.
No, yeah, and man, maybe that groundhog was just squirming around a lot, but I gotta say, if you're the guy who's responsible for bringing about the second Ice Age, you're in trouble.
That's rough. But honestly, at this point, with like the whole like global warming thing, like maybe
it counteracted the effects.
Maybe.
So everything's settled then. Like, so we come up with global warming, and global warming versus the Ice Age. You just mix them together,
and then we're fine.
There we go.
I think okay. So actually, he did us a favor.
Wow.
We initially thought he doomed us all, but he actually saved the world by dropping the groundhog.
Incredible.
So
that there are unsung heroes everywhere, and wow, I'm glad you pointed that out because now he can get the recognition he deserves for saving us from global warming.
Right. Well, this leads us to our next topic here. Mike, why don't you go ahead and introduce what
oh, yeah, sure. So just something, I was scrolling through the Twitter the other day, as one does. And
which is at the Mark Mike Show on Twitter.
By the way, yeah. And happened to stumble across a little hashtag called "Lose Your Job in 4 Words," and this kind of was intriguing to me. So I was like, I'll check it out, because you never know when you may need to lose your job in 4 words.
Exactly.
So there was a few that we really liked. We retweeted them, so if you want to check them out on the Twitter. But you're working for Coca-Cola. Get caught drinking Pepsi.
That'll do it. That right there.
That will do it.
That's gonna kill you for sure. You can't be caught drinking Pepsi when you're working for Coke.
No.
That's automatic firing.
Right. That's high treason.
Unless you're like trying to test or something. I don't know.
I guess if you're bringing in a panel to compare your soda with other people's soda.
Right. That would be really the only possible way. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you're doomed. Like, you might as well just pack up your desk and just go home.
Sure. And I know here I may be touching on a sensitive subject with the whole soda pop debate, but that's not what tonight's about. It's soda, but we're gonna move on to, for the sake of world peace. And
right, of course.
Another one I really liked was, okay, so you're working at this deli, right?
Yeah.
You walk in for your shift.
We know a couple guys that work at the deli, out in New Hampshire. One of our freshmen is he's a big fan of the deli.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
This is gonna hit home with him. Not sure if he's listening, but I hope he is.
Yeah. So basically, like, picture this. You walk into your local sandwich shop deli. You get behind the old meat slicer. You look around at your coworkers, the big Italian guy sitting at his chair, and you say, "Let's all go vegan."
That'll do it. That'll kick you right out of the deli. I mean, come on. Well, I mean, at that point,
there is nothing vegan
no,
about
you're
a
done.
deli.
Yeah, you're toast.
You got your cheese. You got your processed meat that's forced together in these nice little cubes. It's not the place for a vegan.
I don't think Danny would agree with that last statement, but yes, you definitely do have a lot of meat that you are slicing and cheese, and that's what you want from a deli. The vegan part, that's going to kill you. The deli's going under. You're losing your job.
Mm-hmm.
At that point.
And maybe, wow, I think vegans might see this as like a form of discrimination. They cannot work at a deli because it's not vegan.
Yeah. I've never considered that, but I think it makes a lot of sense, unfortunately, for the vegans. No deli opportunities.
That's the thing, though. I don't know what a vegan deli would look like.
I'm going to be honest, I don't think that you could have a vegan deli when you're eating all plant-based foods. You kind of just don't really need it,
Okay, so I guess your point would be, like, if you're vegan, you wouldn't really care about the deli. You wouldn't really
You'd
mind
have no reason
not
to go to a
having
deli,
a job
really.
at a deli. I could see that.
I don't know. I feel like the job at the deli, you'd probably be like, no, I don't want to work at a deli. But the deli itself, like, I can't imagine any vegans they're kind of just ignoring it and just going towards the fruits and vegetables aisle, grains, whatever it might be.
Sure. And here, as some people know, deli is short for delicatessen. According to Google, it is a store selling cold cuts, cheeses, and a variety of salads.
Oh.
So I suppose if you were vegan and you really wanted to work at a deli, you could just sell the salad.
Yeah, you could be the main salad coordinator.
Salad tosser.
Yeah. Big salad.
Spinner.
You could, yeah, honestly. I mean, you might have to. I mean, it might be a good person to run the show for the salads.
Sure. Yeah.
Most experience.
Okay, moving on from the deli.
Right.
Okay, so the next one, let's see. Your local library. You're walking in, you're looking for a book, and the librarian says the movie was better.
Oof. Yeah, that's rough. That's a rough one. Usually, I mean, I feel like a lot of times the movie isn't better. So at that point, if the movie's better, the book must just be
must be
terrible.
awful.
The book must be bad. You know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a movie that was better than the book.
I know one that my mom really likes is Little Women.
Really? She thinks which movie though?
So she really liked one that came out when she was younger.
Okay, all right.
She actually went and saw the new one with my sister, and they said it was really good. So I'm not really sure. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, neither have I.
But no, yeah, she seemed to really enjoy Little Women.
That's intriguing. I'm not sure what. I've never read the book. I have seen one of the older movies, but I can't recall it enough. And I obviously, without reading the book, you wouldn't be able to determine which is better. I'm trying to think of any books that I've read that they turned into. I mean, most of the time they turn a book into a movie and it's just terrible. One that comes to mind, Wrinkle in Time, worst movie I've seen in my life, probably. It was so bad, like actually just so bad. But I heard the book wasn't that bad.
No, I actually read this book in middle school.
Okay, so you'd be able to.
Oh yeah, it's a little trippy. It's about like these three witches. They show up at this girl's house.
Right.
I think her dad's been missing for a while.
Yes.
And she has got this like they're like all super smart, and she's got this super smart little brother. But anyway, they like the witches somehow send them off to like a different dimension or world, and
something just strange.
Yeah, something out there, you know.
Yeah.
And probably there was like some sort of moral in the book.
I'm sure.
That's usually lost in the movie, but
undoubtedly.
No, yeah, and they like end up finding their dad or whatever. I think the little brother, like, there was some sort of like possession or mind control involved. So it was kind of a weird book.
Yeah.
And like as the name implies, there was like time travel as well. So yeah, it was really an interesting book. I remember. I don't remember a lot of details, but I do remember after reading the book, watching a movie that had come out in the 90s.
Okay.
That was A Wrinkle in Time.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they made the new one, and I haven't seen that one.
It's so bad.
But
you would hate it.
I feel like this one from the 90s was worse.
Are you serious?
'Cause
I don't know, Mike. I'm not sure, because literally, I'm telling you, this movie was so bad. Like, it was actually horrendous.
Well, if just for the sake of CGI purposes, this movie was the worst.
I'm not sure, because this movie, like, the CGI just made it so much weirder.
Did it?
It was, like, the most random, like, off-the-wall stuff. They, like, wrote on, like, a butterfly thing. It was strange. It was really strange. A lot of moving parts, different scenery where you're just like, what is going on? Okay. I don't know. I'm going to look up what the rating is on IMDb, but I really hope it's like a 1 or maybe a 2, but it's so bad.
No, yeah. It probably flopped like Cats.
I don't know what that means, but
you didn't hear about Cats.
Cats.
The musical.
Oh.
The musical movie.
Gosh, no. I don't want any part of that. I had heard something about that, and I was not interested in it whatsoever.
Sure. Yeah, no, that was fair. And, yeah, it was not all it cracked up to be. And, I think they just tried to drop a bunch of names in the cast.
That's exactly what they did in Wrinkle in Time. Oprah Winfrey was in Wrinkle of Time.
I heard about that. Wasn't she one of the witches?
Yeah, I think so. It received a 4.2 out of 10 on IMDb.
Okay.
Personally,
that sounds like my last OChem quiz.
I think. Oh gosh. Ouch. Yeah. Okay.
It's okay. We're coming back.
We'll be okay. I'm going to rate this on IMDb as a 1 because I want people to know how bad it is when they go to watch it.
A true citizen.
Yeah, I'm just helping people out because it was awful.
So, Mark, here's a picture from A Wrinkle in Time, 2003.
Oh, no, it was animated?
It was partially animated. This was the CGI.
Oh, my God.
Okay, I'm going to put this on the Twitter.
Please do, because it is just, it kind of...
something...
Wait, was it live action or was it...
Yes.
Why does it look animated?
Because it was like part of it was animated. This is supposed to be, I think, kind of like the butterfly thing. I don't know. It's like
it's so bad. That is assaulting me, assaulting my senses.
This was very disturbing when I first saw this.
I can only imagine that it would be.
Yeah, I was like 11, and I didn't need to see that. Nightmares.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's horrifying.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna move on from this because we don't want to bring up any trauma from our childhood, and we're gonna move to. We were talking about books and movies. Now, a lot of people would debate about the Marvel comic books versus the movies.
Wow, yeah, that is a big topic.
Right. So, here's one for losing your job at Marvel in 4 words. Wakanda not forever anymore.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yep. You say that, and
game over at this point.
No, you lose.
Yeah, people really enjoyed Black Panther. I thought it was all right. I didn't think it was the best out of the series. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I was kind of waiting for them to fight people that were outside of Wakanda, but it never really happened. So, because I think Black Panther is really cool. I don't know. I liked it. I liked the music. I thought that was a good touch. The elephants were cool.
Oh, I don't remember the elephants, actually.
The elephants were like in the big battle at the end.
Oh, were they?
Like riding, or rhinos or whatever it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, rhinos. So yeah, let us know on the Twitter how to lose your job in 4 words. We are going to take a short break, and then we're going to come back and talk about our next topic. So we will see you guys in a minute.
The other day I was thinking to myself, made a list of all my mistakes. Oh, I wish I could have run to you and tell you all about my heartbreak. And I wondered to myself, wait a minute, am I even on the right path now? Had a couple wins, but I got knocked down. But I know that you are here right now, and you say, ooh, sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. Ooh, you gotta get up again. Ooh, keep holding on, it's not the end. Ooh, you gotta get up again. Get up again. You can get up again. You can get up again. And I guess not every little thing works out just the way you dream. You can take a couple wrong turns, still end up where you're supposed to be. And even though in a moment I know everything can change, your perfect plans might fall apart, but the simple truth remains. Ooh, sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. Ooh, you gotta get up again. Ooh, keep holding on, it's not the end. Ooh, you gotta get up again. Get up again. You can 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 get up again. 'Cause you've only got one life, and you don't know when it ends. You've only got one heart, so get out there and live. Yeah, you've only got one life. Don't let it get away. Everyone falls down, but you can get up again. Get up again. You can get up again. You can get up again. Guess not every little thing works out just the way you dream. You can take a couple wrong turns, still end up where you're supposed to be. Lost your way, lost your cool, then you straight up lost your mind. Tried so hard to stay ahead, but you keep falling behind. Life is gonna pull you down, make it hard to see. But a little change in your point of view could be just what you need. There's always a reason to always choose joy. There's something deeper that the world can't destroy. Smile when you think you can't smile.
All right, welcome back to WFRSCC 88.3. This is the Mark and Mike Show. So we're going to transition a little bit to our next segment, and we're going to talk about our weakness, because I think it's important. It's an important topic, especially for us today, because everyone has this weakness and brokenness that they're carrying around with them, and so it's relevant to everyone, and whether you're in a good place with that or not, it's really important. And so we're just going to talk a little bit about this. And so one thing I was thinking about is, in our culture, especially for guys, it's like no one wants to show weakness, which I can understand, but it's kind of not realistic, because we're all like have our weaknesses, and there's this idea of self-reliance, and it's like, oh, I can do it myself. I can do it. Like, I don't need your help. I can get past this or whatever. And I kind of just don't think that is healthy, in the sense of, it's like we need other people and we need to rely on them sometimes. And a lot of times we don't want to, even though we are weak, and we have our own brokenness and whatnot. So it was kind of funny. One of my friends, we were talking about something, and she asked me like, well, when was the last time you cried? And it's like, wait, what? That's such a weird question. But really it's not, because it's like, it's okay to show emotion. It's okay to like show weakness in that. And everyone cries, and like it's actually a good thing to cry. My dad always says, he works he's a funeral director, so he knows about people crying. So it's like, it's actually good. It releases toxins from your brain, and it's actually a really good thing to cry. And so actually like accepting our weaknesses and understanding our weakness can lead us to some really good stuff. And that's where I wanted to introduce what Mike and I have talked about a lot over the course of our friendship, and that is how our weakness relates to our relationship with God, and like how that can be that can help us to grow closer to Him, and especially in the context of the consecration to merciful love. So Mike, take it away.
Yeah, so back a few weeks ago, I got an email. I'm signed up for the nationwide consecration to merciful love. It's through an organization called Mercy Through Mary. So they'll send out like a monthly newsletter, and they're pushing this consecration to merciful love. And last year was the first time I did it. And if you've ever read something like 33 Days to Morning Glory, or any sort of do-it-yourself retreat or consecration, and consecration just meaning setting yourself aside for God, right. Setting yourself apart for God, and dedicating your life to Him. And you can do this through different ways. You can do it through specific devotion to merciful love, or asking Our Lady to intercede for your well-being. So right. Specifically, the consecration to merciful love follows the life of Saint Therese of Lisieux. And
great saint.
Absolutely amazing. And I really think that her message is really relevant today in, like you said, the culture of self-reliance. Being of the mindset that you have to do everything yourself, And I think some of this mindset comes from maybe some genuine thoughts or feelings, like I don't want to burden those around me, or if I say this about how I'm feeling, that's complaining. And at Franciscan or just around your family, like complaining is obviously seen as a very negative thing.
Yeah.
Because the idea is, oh, you should be like happy all the time and rejoicing. So it makes it just a little bit harder to express problems in a healthy way.
Right.
So I think there's some confusion there. But anyway, the important thing about the consecration to merciful love is that it really focuses the attention away from ourselves, from what we can do for God. Because I think there's this attitude of like, oh, I have to do these prayers, or I have to say these novenas, or go to this many like religious services or talks in order to be holy. And really, it's shifting focus from that mindset, from what can I do for God, as back to like what God originally wants to do for us. Because at the end of the day, the story is about God. The Bible, the world, it's God's story, and he's telling it to us. It's a love story. So what I found really striking during my time consecrating myself to merciful love, I came to the realization that it's like when the priest at Mass says, behold the Lamb of God.
Right.
Behold him who takes away the sins of the world. And happy are those who are called to the supper of the Lamb. And the response to that is, Lord, I'm not worthy that you should enter under my roof. And I think a lot of people get focused on that first part.
Yeah.
Lord, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. So I'm the worst, and I'm bogged down by who I am, and who I am is shame and fear and suffering. But I think it's easy to forget the second part of that, but only say the word, and my soul shall be healed.
Yeah.
Because that shows what God wants to do for us, despite how unworthy we may be. It's not really about that, because God sees that and he wants to take care of it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one of the coolest things about understanding merciful love is that in our weakness, it actually helps us to realize how much we need God, and how much we can't do it ourselves. You know, it's like it helps us realize like this idea that, oh yeah, I got it, like I'll be fine, things are going all right. You know, it's like that's just not true. And it only takes like reflecting on our own weaknesses to realize like, oh wow, like I need help. I can't do this. So it's awesome. Sorry. But yeah, no, I like, especially in that context, in the context of the Mass, it's really powerful to realize that that's why we're Catholic. That's why we need God. Is because we're broken, we're weak, and we can't do it ourselves. So
right. The idea that you can earn your way to heaven is completely bogus. Like, I heard it was like a I don't know if it was part of a homily or something at some point, but basically this guy dies and he's at the pearly gates of heaven, and St. Peter's there, and he's like, all right, in order to get into heaven, like you have to have like 10,000 points like on your record, right? That'll get you into heaven. So this guy, he was like a youth minister and always volunteering at his parish, and great family man, and was checking all the boxes, right? So he's like, okay, well, I spent this much time volunteering at my parish. And St. Peter's like, okay, great, that's 50 points. And it's like, wait, what? I spent like my whole life doing this. And then he's like, okay, well, I I raised my family like in the faith. And St. Peter was like, okay, that's good. That's a good 100 points. And he just starts going through the list of all the things he's done. Like, oh, I say this many prayers a day, and like, oh, 5 points. And at the end, he's like kind of panicking. He's like, at this rate, the only way I'll get into heaven is by God's grace. And St. Peter's like, that is worth 10,000 points. Go in. So really, it's focusing the attention away from us and focusing it back on God's mercy.
Right. Which is great because it takes a lot of pressure off of us.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have to be, we don't have to do it all ourselves. And that, like, that's the scary part, I think, is trying to, trying to put all the pieces in place so that at the end we'll have enough to get there. But that's, you know, that's not really, it doesn't really work like that. And that's probably good for us, because otherwise, I mean, it would be really hard. So yeah, no, I think that I like that analogy a lot.
Yeah. And one thing that's really related to this consecration to merciful love and really letting go a lot of that worry was a surrender novena. And it's a really powerful prayer, and I've actually been saying it this past week in preparation for a mission trip I'm going on over spring break to Los Angeles. But each day, it's Jesus addressing you and saying, like, how much you worry yourself over things that are outside of your control at the end of the day. And as soon as you surrender them to me, like, they're taken care of.
Right.
They're like, there's the Bible verse where the Lord makes sure even the sparrow has food to eat.
Right.
And you're more important than many sparrows. So the novena really helped me this week because, man, it was tough with midterm season and a bunch of tests, and I had a few applications due. And I remember Sunday night into Monday, I didn't get a whole lot of sleep, and I did the novena each night. And Monday night, I was getting ready for bed, and just going through my routine, and okay, I'm going to stop to do the novena. And the first line of the novena, "You're sleepless." And I was like, yep, really Lord, you're right. I'm very tired. So it's recognizing, yes, it's like, we do get tired. We're human, and we need to be refreshed.
Yeah.
And it's refreshing to know that God's grace is there for us.
Right. And that, you know, we're never too far gone. I think that's important too. A lot of people might think, oh, well, you know, I kind of already messed up, and at this point, you know, I don't think I can really turn it around, so I'm just going to kind of give up, you know. And I think going back to saying, Lord, I'm not worried that you should enter under my roof, you know, that's everyone. Doesn't matter where you're at, that's everyone. Like, the creator of the universe is, no, none of us are worthy. We've all sinned, so, but the thing is, in his mercy, he desires to heal our brokenness and to help us in our weakness. And so it's a very, very beautiful spirituality. And yeah, it's something that Mike and I both did last year. And I don't know, it really kickstarted us in the spiritual life more deeply. And yeah, it was amazing. So
no, yeah, I find that it continues to bear fruit the farther I go.
Right.
And isn't that life, you know? You do something once, and then you're not sure if it, you know, affected anything. And then later on you remember, oh, this is where I was, and this is what helped me get to this place where I am now. Because, you know, life's a journey, And there's been countless times over the past year where maybe initially I didn't see the effects of my consecration, and that was okay, because I think if there had been some sort of enormous, like, ground shaking moment for me, then it would have felt more like God is one and done with me. Like,
Yeah.
there's this big moment, and that's not to, negate any powerful faith experiences that can happen, because obviously those happen. Like, you look at St. Paul in the Bible, like, gets knocked off his horse on the way to Damascus. But I'd like to think that most of the time, in order for the Lord to let us know that he's walking with us on this journey, he reveals things bit by bit. And for me, that's been comforting, because, yeah, it's like after this one time that was really great, he continues to walk with me. And I think that's really special, because then you can just see it every day of your life.
Right, and that's the important part.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we have really, is just the day. Yeah. So.
And if y'all are interested in getting free access to the consecration to merciful love, it's free. I'll put the link on the Twitter, but it's mercithroughmary.com, and it begins March 17th.
Okay.
So over spring break, we won't be here next week because of our spring break.
Yeah, that's true. We won't have a show next week.
Yeah.
Mike will be in LA, and actually March 17th is a Tuesday, so we will.
Okay.
But yeah.
So Tuesday the 17th. Oh, we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be
by
back
then. Okay. We just won't have a show.
Yeah.
So yes, the 17th, and the consecration preparation. So it's like a short reading, like a page every day,
right,
leading up to the consecration for 33 days. And the consecration is on Divine Mercy Sunday, which, if you don't know, is the first Sunday after Easter Sunday. So a really great way to celebrate and give thanks for God's mercy, for the resurrection. So if y'all are interested, it's mercithroughmary.com, and I'll drop the link in the Twitter. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that. We'll send out a few reminders.
Yeah.
But
so we're gonna take a short break, and we will be right back with our special guests. So.
88.3 Franciscan Effects Weather Forecast. I'm Ken Fox.
Franciscan Effect.
Today's positive hits.
Now playing in Morgantown.
In partnership with Light of Life Radio.
How did we get here? What coast away on a lonely shore? I can see in your eyes, dear, it's hard to take for a moment more. We've got to burn the ships, cut the ties, send a flare into the night. Say a prayer, turn the tide, dry your tears and wave goodbye. Step into a new day. We can rise up from the dust and walk away. We can dance upon the heartache, yeah. So light a match, leave the past, burn the ships, and don't you look back. Don't let it arrest you. This fear of falling again. And if you need a refuge, I will be right here until the end. Oh, it's time to burn the ships, cut the ties, send a flare into the night. Say a prayer, turn the tide, dry your tears and wave goodbye. Step into a new day. We can rise up from the dust and walk away. We can dance upon the heartache, yeah. So light a match, leave the past, burn the ships, and don't show.
Welcome back to WFRSCC 88.3. We have our special guest, Rachel. Why don't you say hello?
Hello, everyone.
So Rachel is one of our teammates. She's well, you're injured now, but
Unfortunately.
yeah. So javelin thrower,
Mm-hmm.
pretty interesting. Why don't you tell us a little bit about tossing the spears through the air?
Sure. So I started doing track when I was in elementary school. There was this club team coach in the town
Fun.
next to mine who also ran I don't even know what you would call it, but a thing for like elementary school age kids, and I think it might have gone through middle school. During the summer, and it was like teaching kids how to do all the different track events. And so that's where I got my start with everything track. But I noticed that I particularly enjoyed javelin back when I was throwing the little plastic turbo javs.
See, that sounds dangerous because I guess if they're plastic, but I mean, in high school we didn't even have javelin.
Yeah, it's illegal in some states.
Liability.
Yeah, it can be concerning if you're not careful.
Yeah. It's
But then I found out, I think when I got into middle school, that he also ran the club team. So he noticed that I was, had a particular affinity for javelin, and he,
That's good.
offered me a spot, and I did that all through high school. I competed in the Junior Olympics.
wow.
Unfortunately, never got to go to nationals, even though I qualified, because they were always really, really far away.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
But it was really cool, and I, wasn't planning on playing any sports when I got to Franciscan, but, I ran into our coach and been on the team for the past 3 years, and unfortunately I got injured a couple years ago and had surgery for my injury over Christmas break, and I can't compete this season, but I'm the manager for the team, so I get to still be around.
Yes, we appreciate that. Definitely. So we have a question for you, unrelated to track, but what are your favorite top 3? Really, I mean, you can have more if you want, but top reality TV shows in your life.
Okay, I wouldn't say that my top choice is my favorite per se, but it
Interesting.
is the one I watch the most,
Okay.
and it is The Bachelor.
Oh, really?
I do not support the process. I do not recommend anyone going on The Bachelor. That's a terrible idea. But it is probably the most interesting.
Dramatic.
And very easy to make fun of.
I can understand that.
Yeah, I don't watch it in a serious manner at all. I just like making fun of everybody and
That's
seeing
really
how
funny,
the drama
actually.
unfolds.
Yeah. I can imagine. I've never personally watched The Bachelor, but I can imagine that it would mostly revolve around incredible drama.
Yes. Oh, for sure. There's always a villain every season. You always
Many
have
tears.
So many tears, especially when it's with the girls. There's the one
Right.
guy, and all the girls, like, they get so petty and, like, catty. And it's just like, okay,
Right.
you guys are, usually they're in their 20s.
Of course.
And it's just like, okay, this is a 23-year-old woman, not much older than me, and she's acting like she's 12.
Right.
And it's like,
You hate to
okay,
see it.
That's concerning.
Yeah. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, but it's funny. I gotta say that this particular season, though, that's going on right now with Peter the pilot is one of the worst seasons of The Bachelor that I've ever
Wow.
seen. he had so much potential. We had so much hope for Peter to be a great bachelor, and he unfortunately hasn't lived up to our expectations in any way, shape, or form.
That's just disappointing.
It really is.
Boom, roasted.
Got him.
Definitely,
Had to do it.
yeah.
Okay, so The Bachelor,
Mm-hmm.
any other?
I think when I was younger, I really liked watching The Voice and
Okay.
American Idol.
Right.
And some cooking shows. I always
Cooking
wanted
shows.
to watch Hell's Kitchen with Gordon Ramsay, but
Yes.
obviously as a young child, that was not very appropriate.
Yeah.
But I love Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon
He's
Ramsay's pretty
amazing.
aggressive.
How bad could
Yes.
it be? Isn't it just cooking?
Nah, he swears a lot.
He gets
and-
really upset.
Yes.
like,
he yells at
Actually
people,
really upset. And that's why it's called Hell's Kitchen, because he's like really
'Cause he throws a tantrum.
sort of.
he
kind of does it on purpose though, because
it's for the show.
yeah.
Okay.
Like
So it's for the show, and also like the other half of the time, it's adult. These chefs that he's working with are being really dumb, and so he just kind of does it to teach him a lesson.
yeah. That's I always liked the show I think it was on the Food Network, Restaurant Impossible. I
Oh
don't know
my
if you ever
gosh,
saw that.
yeah!
With,
I used to watch that show. I
what's
totally
his
forgot
name?
about it. I don't know.
Robert something. Anyway, that was a quality show. He'd like turn
That was
a
a really
really
good show.
crappy restaurant around in like 2 days.
Completely rebuild the menu and the restaurant. It
And
was
like the
insane.
kitchen would always be like disgusting.
Oh yeah.
And you're like,
So many
how
health
did
code
you let
violations.
it? Yeah, exactly. You're like, how did you let it? People would always just like cry because they're like some family, issues at that. And he would somehow solve it within like 24 hours.
Yep. He's a chef, an interior designer, and a therapist all in one
Right.
somehow.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed by him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was a quality show.
It's a true
Yeah.
Renaissance man right there.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
definitely. Mike, what's your favorite reality TV show?
Well, reality TV for me, I mean, I don't watch a whole lot of TV, but
I can understand.
I mean, I guess if I would watch a show, it would probably be one of those like The Voice shows, like singing
A classic.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
when I was younger, like growing up, there was like this almost game show, but it was like kind of dramatic show called Endurance.
Oh,
Ooh.
And it was, I forget if it was on Discovery Channel or
Okay.
something. But it was really neat because they had a bunch of like teenagers on,
Mhm.
and when you're young, they all look super grown up. And
that's very true.
yeah, so they would compete in these challenges that really were like, just like, oh, how would you think about that? It's like, if you ever seen Wipeout,
Yes, I was gonna say, is it like Wipeout?
it's kind of like that mixed with an Iron Man challenge where they
Okay.
have different things they have to push
Interesting.
around, and yeah. But they would make it really dramatic, and they'd
Of course.
they'd
It's
break up
reward.
into teams, like half the camp is over here. It'd be on an island somewhere.
Gets
Of
super
course.
competitive.
Yeah.
Then if you like were the bottom two teams on the show, and it was like a series of shows, you would go to the temple at night.
Ooh.
That
And
sounds scary.
it was intense. And they'd have this one challenge that they would always do for like elimination.
Mhm.
And if you got eliminated, they had this really dramatic shot where it was like the team standing behind this fire, and then they just like disappear. It was really cool.
Whoa.
And I always wanted to grow up and be on Endurance because I thought I had what it took
Yeah.
to be on Endurance.
That kind of reminds me of like, not quite, but it's in the same line as American Ninja Warrior. That show has really taken off. Not quite as dramatic, obviously,
No, yeah.
and like it actually does take a lot of skill and strength. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. That's a very popular one these days. I don't think I would do very, very well.
I always like to think that I would, but then I actually think about it, and I'm like, just kidding.
And the funniest thing is, like, I don't know what happens, but I feel like I only ever see the reruns of it. I don't see like,
yeah.
I'm not seeing like the
Current
current.
episodes,
Yeah, it's like, what's going on with this?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like it. It's fun. It's fun to watch. Shark Tank is another big one.
Shark Tank,
Never seen it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like, I've seen little clips, and I obviously know what it's about.
Yeah.
But I've never really been intrigued by that sort of thing.
It's so funny. Like, some people just come in with, like, the worst ideas, and you're like,
Yeah.
how did you get to the show? That's what I'm
Why
wondering.
are you here?
I was watching one last week, and it was this guy wanted to franchise his ice cream store, but he only made like no money. So it's like, why would you ever want to franchise it? And the Sharks were just like, this guy's so dumb, and they just like they just destroyed it, which is really funny. So
one show that's like kind of related to Shark Tank, kind of related to the Restaurant Impossible, is The Prophet. Have you heard of that?
I don't think so.
So it's this guy who, like, it's the same sort of idea. He goes into these businesses that are just falling apart, like small businesses,
Okay.
and basically turns them around.
Wow.
Like, I think the deal is, like, he comes in and he's, like, 50% owner of the company while he's there and, like, helping them. But, of course, it gets, pretty dramatic, and, people are, like, get upset because he's making changes, and, yeah, it's a whole thing. And, no, I really enjoyed watching that show. It was pretty cool. Because sometimes, the people who were in charge figured out where they messed up, and
It kind of reminds me of like a undercover boss type show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Those are cool.
I've never really seen that show, but I've heard a lot about it. It's intriguing, especially if it's like a big company. It would be nice for the boss who probably just sits in his office all day and doesn't really do much in the way of like actually
like hands-on.
Yeah,
stuff.
it would be very interesting to see how that would all go down.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel, could you imagine Father Dave?
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
But I feel like that would be kind of difficult to do because I feel like he already has kind of a more hands-on, relationship with the university, partially because we're so small.
Yeah.
And I also think that's just the kind of person that he is. That, like, even when I first met him, I worked orientation at the beginning of this year. And he was, like, he gave, like, one of the first talks while we were training before all the new students came. And he, like, from that point, I could already tell that he was really trying to, get into it and to really figure out, what the students, wanted or needed or concerns that they had. Because at the end of his talk, he asked, what are some things that you as students, feel that the university needs to do better, for you guys, not just for, attracting new students. And I think that, since he started out his, reign as president like that, I don't think there's much more he could do to get more down into
Plus,
it.
everyone recognizes him, so he would really have to.
And he has to wear his habit. So, like, how much of a disguise?
Yeah, it's
could
like
he do?
You would really. I mean, honestly, if he just showed up in like a normal suit,
maybe
that might be.
That would really throw me off.
And then if he had like fake hair, that right there, that might do it. People would be like, "Who is this man?"
Yeah, I'm sure they could do something with prosthetics, even if he like kept his habit on, completely changed his face. I feel like
maybe
he'd just be like a visiting TOR or something.
In those shows they usually
a lot going on with the face.
Yeah. And it's like it's like a Scooby-Doo villain kind of.
Yeah.
That's
exactly
how it is. So.
Yeah, that'd be interesting though if he did that. I'd be very curious to see how that turned out and how many people would realize. Yeah,
definitely. So that's pretty much gonna wrap it up. We've been on the air for about an hour, and thank you for listening. Mike, do you have anything you wanna?
Have a great spring break, y'all. Enjoy. Safe travels to everyone.
Definitely.
Say hi to your families. Don't get sick. And that's all. We'll see you in 2 weeks. But
we won't be here next week again, but we'll update the Twitter if we can, if we have time. See what happens. See if there's anything interesting going on with that. So have a great night, everybody.
God, I'm all in.